Now, it's your turn.
Fear not, citizens. Hope has arrived because we are back talking My Hero Academia. This is the Amateur Otaku podcast. I'm your host today, All Mike in the flesh. Joining me, of course, are my great co-hosts, Isaac Wolf and Brandon Alvarado. Gentlemen, it's fall season for the anime. The show is back. But today we're talking about the manga. And we had an insane chapter this week. If you're not caught up on My Hero Academia, chapter 368. Leave now. We've got an anime episode for you guys you can check out on the channel. With that said, let's jump into it. We start off with the color page, and usually we like to show those. We're not doing that today. Nobody feels comfortable showing this color page on this channel. I'm glad Isaac interjected there. My friend, you have some thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, in short, that color page doesn't come off as something from Shonen Jump. It comes off as something, as a cover page for Bloody Dojin. Not to mention that character is meant to be, 15 or 16? That just, Horikoshi, what the hell are you doing, mate? Bloody hell.
Welcome to My Thirsty Academia.
I mean, we call him Horny Koshi for a reason. I mean, do you see
Oh
the way
my.
he draws Yayorozu on a weekly basis?
But those are male characters. This is not.
Brandon, do you have any thoughts on this risky photo of Hagakure?
I mean, I get it. I get it. And I get the fact that we've never seen her, but damn, that's
Man, we got an eyeful this time.
that's there's no reason to be risque. Well, here's the thing though. If he was trying to appease the thirsty community of My Thirsty Academia, trust me, they've been quenched.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not saying that in a good light.
Oh my!
I am just
God, mate.
I'm just I'm just making an observation. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna shut up now.
We're just gonna move on. I just want to point out that this is her official hero costume. She's been walking around like this since chapter 1. He just turned the color on.
Yeah.
Which I think is equally as kind of weird, but
I can agree with that. I have never understood why they haven't been able to put a hero costume on if they can make all the support stuff for the other heroes.
I mean, the way I see it, maybe her suit is made out of everything except the boots and the gloves. Let's make that very specific. It's probably made from the same material that Wonder Woman makes her jet, but I don't know.
Really, dude? Really?
I mean, it's crazy. It's also just really funny because this has nothing to do with today's chapter.
Not at all. Like
whatsoever.
No. Nothing.
So, guys, let's get into it, shall we?
Are we going to the chapter?
Yes, we're going to the chapter. It is chapter 368. Rev up, one for all. And Brandon, I want to toss this to you right quick, but before I do, I just want to point out Deku unlocked his final quirk in this chapter. We've got all of them. We've got them listed. I have them written down right here. We can go through them if we want. But what was it?
Let's do that first. Let's do that first. Because I think putting that in the open is going to make the conversation a lot better, especially because a lot happens in 3 pages.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start. All Might gave Deku one for all in like the second chapter of My Hero Academia, episode 2 of the anime. And, when he first got it, it was based like super strength, super speed, nothing out of the ordinary as far as superheroes go. Then we started unlocking quirks. The first being Black Whip, right? He got that from the 5th user, Daguerreo Banjo. His next quirk was
Spider-Man. That's
Oh, yeah.
whatever Spider-Man does.
The anime went full on Spider-Man in that intro, by the way, with him swinging around. His second quirk he unlocked, the 7th user's quirk, Nana Shimura. Her quirk was Float, giving Deku the ability to, fly and essentially float. After that, he unlocked a bunch of them, including Danger Sense, the 4th user's quirk. It's a spider sense. Isaac, you can cue up the theme again if you want to. He also
I have no energy for.
Understood. He also has Fajin, which is, I think, one of the more interesting quirks, right? That's the 3rd user's, who still remains unnamed at the moment, which I think is kind of interesting. Fajin is basically kinetic energy. You know how Black Panther can release energy in the MCU? Whatever damage, that's Fajin. It's also amplifying Deku's already amplified power. The quirk right after that.
When did we see Gen 5? Enlighten me, because I don't think I remember.
Fajin, he used it when we first meet Lady Nagan.
Wait. So Fajin is the Gen 5, is the one. Oh, so it's not Gen 5.
Fajin is the 5th. It's the 5th user's quirk.
It's the multiplier.
Right. It's the multiplier.
Got it.
So yeah, we went through Fajin, Danger Sense. Oh, Smoke Screen is the 6th user's quirk. It's a smoke bomb, essentially. I like, and I want your guys' opinion on this. Up until now, aside from Fajin, Deku's quirks have been very kind of smaller in scale than I think a lot of people anticipated. It's basically every trick Batman has in his utility, though. That's what Deku's quirks have been.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Black Wick being the Gatling gun, Fajin being, of course, that. You can probably say that the multiplier is kind of like Batman's skill in martial arts that actually gives him a head up even on superheroes.
Right.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And then, of course, Yuichi Shigaraki is the 1st user, which is the power to pass on the quirks in the first place, one for all. All Might is quirkless. Deku is quirkless. So that only left the 2nd user, who still remains unnamed, though his last name might end in Bakugo. Still out there, since he's unnamed. The 2nd user's quirk is, I believe, it said transmission. And it's bizarre. I still don't understand it. What are your thoughts on everything, Brandon?
So I like the so here in this particular chapter, I think it answers the question of why these quirks. Why do we care about all of these support quirks? Because that's really what they are, right? They're like support-based quirks. They're not like main offensive quirks, which kind of makes sense basically because his specialty is offensive. But I love how much creativity that brings to the table because they're mostly support quirks. Someone with the creative and innately investigative mind that Deku has can figure them out very quickly. So he was able to really figure out these quirks very quickly, and it doesn't seem to be unreasonable or it's not like the original One for All strength quirk where it was like a mountain to climb just to get to full cowling. You know what I mean? So being able to pick up all this because of the type of person that he is, it makes sense. But also, I can see the intention of if you have a lot of different quirks that are support with someone that's hyper creative and that understands quirks, because that's the big thing that I would even say that is Deku's original quirk. Deku's original quirk is that he understands quirks. He understands them by observing and analyzing to death since he was a kid. Right? So who better for him to have a bunch of quirks that he can just go, wait a minute, what if I did this? What if I combined this? And we see him here doing what we all, I think it's like the one thing that we all wanted to see him do, but never really understood that's what we wanted to see. Does that make sense? Because as soon as he does Black Chain, it clicks. It's like, holy crap, that's it. That's why. Because he literally combines quirks in succession. and that is like so baller, so awesome. And I love how quickly it happens, and how quickly he's able to overpower Tamura. And I think the way I want to look at this chapter, at least for me, I want to talk about Deku, but I want to leave it there for now, because I feel that talking about Shigaraki is a completely different conversation because a lot happens with Shiggy here too. But I like the fact that Deku's mission is clear. I like how he looks. Like, definitely, you cannot tell me that the way Deku looks right now, that's not looking at Aang. You cannot tell me that. You cannot. It just can't happen. That's Aang in avatar form, whatever you call it. Like, you have all different quirks just emanating from him. That's actually super awesome. I find it interesting that there's a timer, which again I think makes perfect sense because you can't make the main character hyper powerful, right? There's just no way of doing that because the goal is to see him overcome the obstacle, which is the villain. But if he becomes more powerful from the villain from the beginning, then there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's no way to make the fight interesting. So I like that as soon as the battle starts, there's tension. I love the focusedness of him, and these panels are just beautiful. We were talking about Lemillion and the fact that we can see him being the supportive hero that he can be.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the whole thing with the transmission one, I think it's awesome. And I like the fact that it's a speed quirk. Because when you add speed, if you look at my username, I love speedsters. When you add speed to the already phenomenal strength that he has, the speed in and of itself adds power. So it's another kind of multiplier. So it's a multiplier on top of a multiplier, which is super interesting.
Yeah, he might be right now stronger than All Might, I would say. Just from a pure strength level with the multipliers he has.
Well, they already said that he's at 120%. So he's officially stronger than All Might.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to toss it to Isaac, but I see he got blipped out. That's okay. So I guess we'll keep going because you were talking about Shigaraki, right? And I guess we can finally firmly get into the chapter because I wanted to kind of go over everything at the beginning because you mentioned Lemillion, and last time in the last chapter we had Deku come in asking if Tomura Shigaraki was still there. We have, I think, a very interesting dialogue between Deku, Nana Shimura, and All For One because it's firmly believed that Shigaraki is gone up until that point. What are your thoughts of Nana? I think that's really powerful, by the way, because that is her grandson.
Yes.
Still seeing that Izuku, he's still in there.
Yes.
And she sees the face of her son in that weird horror-esque mask that is all for Shiggy. Do you think that's the extra push Deku needs to try and save Tenko? Because as we zoom in into the body of Shigaraki and into that vestige space, we see Tenko, and he looks scared. He looks like he's trying to fight his way out, but he can't.
Right. It's so funny enough. When we talked about the anime coming back, I thought that I hadn't finished watching season 5, and I started rewatching the end of season 5, and I found out, oh wait, I've seen this. So I did finish season 5, but I started watching that episode of the aftermath of Tengdo's origin.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's the little kid, that he was just hoping that a hero would find him. Not to be saved, but to be punished because he just killed his family. So he's not even looking for someone to save him. He's looking for someone to make him pay, which again, it kind of goes sadly through the nurture that his dad gave him, kind of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's looking for someone to save him.
That's what made that Bakugo panel so powerful, right? When he sees they're doing everything they can to save somebody who's already dead, but they didn't come at all for him,
me
ever.
Exactly. So I love how Horikoshi is building this powerful. He continues to build this fight because, to be honest, for the longest time before the last 5 chapters, we all felt in one way, shape, or form that this fight was losing steam.
Yeah.
But now we see that Horikoshi was playing the long game, and he's just setting the seeds, sowing the seeds for everything that's going to be important and emotional. And the one thing that I love about Horikoshi is that if anybody knows how to build an emotional moment, it's Kohei. Like, he knows what he's doing. The fact that I still watch the first 2 episodes of My Hero and cry, I mean, I've said it this a long time. It's a thing. Tears come out of this man. But I love the fact that we go back to Lemillion and that conversation that he had. That even though he did it as a means of distraction, it did ring true to Tendo that's inside the All for Shiggy.
Yeah, when he said you have no friends, and he had that outburst. Totally.
Right. So I love how, and not only that, how tragic is that the way that Nana finds out that Tendo is still there is because she sees the face of her son. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, to see the face of her son and because for a fact, in the past, his son didn't know that the reason that she kept her distance was because she had all one for all. That's really the reason, which he would never understand. But I wonder if the way that Tendo's decay quirk works, I wonder if there's a spiritual connection with whoever who decays, because that didn't look like Tendo looking up. It looked like Tendo's dad looking up.
Yeah.
Like if Tendo's dad understands that, like, he finally got it. Like, he finally got that this is why my mom kept distance. Like, this is the thing. You know what I mean? It kind of feels that way. And then, of course, it goes into the whole conversation. But even before that, I love how All for One is trying to toot his own horn.
Yeah.
And I do like the change in color. And what I mean by that is when you see All for One talking, and it's solely All for One talking, now it's a black background. Because every time that, which is a very simple detail, but like throughout the arc, every time that All for Shiggy talks, and it's funny because I don't know if you've noticed, but I may be wrong, but that particular font has only been there since All for Shiggy. Like, I don't think
like the jagged like lettering font.
Yes, I don't think.
No, so I think at least a version of it. It might be slightly changed, but Shigaraki's font has always been kind of scratchy because even in the anime, he kind of talks scratchy like this.
Interesting.
So that's why I would always be like, I don't know who's talking, because that Shigaraki's like font and lettering,
forever,
the voice and the cadence is still very much All for One. But like you said, here it's that clear distinction on who's speaking.
Right. But I love how Shiggy's just screaming or looking for a way out. Which is like most villains or most interesting stories is, it's like the one thing about trauma and the one thing about tragedy is that tragedy leaves you emotionally and psychologically stuck in a moment in time. So that's why whenever we see Tendo fighting against All for One, it's the kid version of Tendo. Because he's never moved on from that moment that he accidentally killed his parents, his family.
Exactly. He's forever stuck in that moment.
Right. He's still waiting to be saved from that moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's one of those things where I love how, out of everything, after seeing Bakugo lying there, after like having that meltdown at the beginning of this, Deku's mission is still clear, right? Deku still wants to save this kid, who he believes is still in there longing to be saved. And Isaac, I just want, like, what are your thoughts on everything with Deku getting this power up, and how is he going to use it to hopefully save Tenko Shimura?
Well, first of all, I wonder, was the gear name, I know that is a wandering joke right now within the team bet, is the gear part a One Piece reference? Considering for casual reference stuff. And no, I'm not joking around. I'm serious.
No, I know you're not joking. The problem is I have no basis for this information, so I can't confirm or deny.
So what's going on? I got lost there.
The the gear part at the end of the chapter.
Oh, so. I get what you're saying. Like it's a touche moment to One Piece.
Yeah, it sort of feels like that. Maybe I'm just.
Can you explain for people like me who don't understand One Piece?
So you know how Goku has. I'm gonna make the most easiest to make it simple. So you know how Goku has Super Saiyan. No, the best version is you know how Goku has Kaioken.
Okay.
So you know that Kaioken, he can multiply it. He can go Kaioken times 5, Kaioken times 10, and that's what he uses to defeat Vegeta. He gets stronger but gets super slow, right? Okay. So with Luffy, correct me if I'm wrong, spoilers for One Piece, he inherits the fire fruit power from his brother when he dies, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Luffy is a rubber person. So he acquires the power of turning into fire as well. So he amplifies his rubber and becomes cement and a lot stronger. That's when you see him like balloon version. It's like inflated and like with big metal arms.
Okay.
So he has literally gear modes within that to become stronger and mediate his attacks. So what he's saying is that maybe Kohei is like paying tribute to One Piece with that kind of quirk because it's literally saying the same type of word verbiage.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I follow now. Okay, Isaac, when you drop One Piece references, you got to follow through, man, because I can't keep up. I'm sorry.
Well, I could talk about One Piece for hours, so I didn't know how to tell the order of things. So thank you, Brandon.
No problem.
But honestly, well, it looks like more and more that, in terms of the chapter, he is going to be able to quote unquote save Tomura Shigaraki, but I'm just questioning how would that even work, considering, well, one, you can't exactly create a body from another body unless you have intercourse with someone, if you get my point. But
what
was that the point of the cover? So
hello.
Oh, for fuck's sake, mate!
You brought this up on yourself.
I'm trying to figure out why do we need to make another body. I'm lost.
Because he's saying where are you gonna put All for One? Or where are you gonna put Tendo?
Where are you gonna put All for One?
Wait. This is simple.
Exactly.
I solved it. It's not 6.
Okay.
What have we seen?
This is a children's show. We swear, everybody.
What have we seen All for Shiggy do since the beginning of this battle?
Grow bodies and body parts.
So how can you tell me that the fight that Azizuku fights to save Tendo, it doesn't gradually make All for One lose the grip that he has on Tendo over time, to the point that Tendo is able to escape in a no-move form from that body and probably gets reborn like a little baby or whatever. And then All for One is the big bad, but he retains the DK quirk because he's the one that gave it to him in the first place.
I get what you mean, but
Isaac, you can't question anything. No, my point is, in a series where we just saw a man go into Bakugo's chest to revive
I know.
him.
I was
Nothing
just.
else is so.
By the way,
I was just talking about my general feelings about that idea. He's probably right. He's probably right.
Now you know what's funny?
I don't know. That's my what I don't know what to think part. If
But
that makes any sense.
and you know what's funny? You just mentioned the whole Ed shot thing. And did you find it interesting that in the first episode of the anime of the new season, he's like front and center when they introduce his like. I don't remember he being so prominent in the beginning of this arc.
He is somewhat important in some moments in that arc. That's why I thought it was hilarious that you didn't remember him at all. But I read the chapters that this episode adapted, and he is nowhere to be seen. So that was definitely them adding
Intentional, yeah.
them intentionally throwing Ed Shot back in there. I told you, man, the anime and the
That's
manga has a nice symmetry there.
Yeah.
That's
But
kind of funny, actually.
yeah. But now, Isaac, what do you think about everything going on with? So you mentioned Ashiki. What do you think about the quirks? Because you never got a chance to talk about the quirk combination. Like he's literally doing Chrono Trigger dual text on himself. That sounded dirty. That was not my intention. But that's what's going on.
The entire episode are dirty. So
Blame Horikoshi.
that's
Yes, we do.
yeah, good point. But it's just like you guys said earlier. It's this shows just the proof of him being a genius regarding quirks, and that you can argue that he wasn't quirkless at the beginning. His quirk was strategy, Batmaning, or whatever you want to call it.
Not just Batmaning, and I want to
You
mention
get my
this.
point?
Totally. But I want to just mention this right quick. You know how at the very start of the series, right? Well, like somewhere in like season 3, roughly, of the anime, All Might's telling him like you need to stop trying to be like me. He's doing the smashes. He's literally yelling Delaware Smash when he's fighting villains, right? He's emulating All Might. Is it lost on anybody else that now he's emulating Aizawa? He's got Black Whip wrapped around him like a scarf. He's using this enhanced chain, right, to capture Shigaraki, to wind him back up so he can get a more powerful strike in when he's fighting him. Combining Black Whip, using it like Aizawa's scarf, using all these other quirks to neutralize Shigaraki is something that I think is amazing because it feels like Deku went from All Might to Eraserhead.
So I would like to expand on that.
By all means.
I'm going to go back to what I said last episode. I think it's more of him being an amalgamation of the true hero community. So he's literally doing what a protege does. He's just doing the best that all of his teachers have done. So he's picking up that from that. The speed, the way he manages speed, because remember, All Might was fast, but speed was never his thing. All Might is a symbol of power when it comes to battles. So he's emulating All Might's strength. He's emulating Aizawa's strategic mind. He's emulating Torino's speed.
Don't forget the parallel processing he picked up from Endeavor.
The which is how it makes sense that he can combine quirks now.
Right.
So I think he's literally bringing to life what My Hero Academia is. He is the result of what he's learned from all of his heroes. Which is funny because it's another way of saying this is where Izuku is a stand-in for Kohei. Because Deku is now celebrating all the heroes that Kohei admires, or at least all the heroes that he has set up for us to admire in one way, shape, or form. Because all of those people, like Aizawa, even Endeavor, like you may not like him as a person, but you can actually respect the turn that he's trying to do with his life. You see what I'm saying? So in one way, shape, or form, all of these heroes become people that you're looking up to. So that's kind of what Deku's doing. It's just that because of it's a battle, it's showing in a battle format. Because it's funny how after he does all this, he ends with his tribute to All Might. Which, by the way, he's never done a Detroit Smash, right?
Yeah, he has. He just hasn't done it in like 2 years.
Okay. Nice.
I
So
think the last one
he's
he
bringing it
technically-
back.
Yeah, I think the last one he technically did was his first fight against Muscular, if I remember correctly. It's a throwback for sure.
Oh, right, because last time that he did it, after that, he started learning how to do.
Dude style.
Yeah. Yes.
So
awesome.
yeah, it's a short chapter, but it's full of a lot of fun. Aside from that really strange cover page at the beginning. Isaac, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we call it an episode?
Not what I can think of.
Any other ideas, Scarlet fan?
Did y'all catch the inverted smash?
Yeah, I saw that. That threw me for a loop when I first read it.
I found it very interesting because it's kind of like, first of all, I thought that Shigaraki was being hit so hard that he saw it backwards. That's what I thought, but then when I look at it, it's actually because Shigaraki's punching. So it's kind of like the opposite of a superhero smash because it's a villain doing it, but at the same time, it's kind of letting you know you thought that you kicked Deku's ass, but no, your smash didn't work. Everything else broke, but Deku absorbed it.
Yeah, this a fragile, quirkless kid that we knew is long gone. Now he's the world's greatest hero.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's been a blast talking with you. This has been My Hero Academia, Chapter 368. Rev up, one for all. He's got 5 minutes to get this job done. So, of course, something's going to go wrong. But...
Or these 5 minutes will take 2 months to cover.
It probably will, honestly.
Yeah.
Remember, we're still in the same school year. So, there's that.
Yo, stop.
With that said, we have My Hero Academia coverage here on the Amateur Otaku all week, every week, just about. The anime is back. It's a blast. There's a stream on the channel. You can check that out if you like. We also are covering Spy Family. Bleach comes back. Chainsaw Man debuts. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. And follow us on Twitter at Amateur Otaku Pod so you won't miss any updates there. Isaac, where can they find you, man?
Well, you can find me at Blog on Twitter.
Awesome. What about you, Flash?
You can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter and the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram.
Bet. And you guys can find me at Novice Cinephile everywhere: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram at the Novice Cinephile. We will see you guys next time for Chapter 369. Nice. It's going to debut on a Monday, though, so we're going to have to figure out when we're going to record that episode. But until next time, as always, go beyond plus ultra. Peace.
Boku no Hero!
Plus Ultra.